All right, so we're back, and we are taking a break from the YouTube boxing scene, back on the MMA today because stay. Anyway, yes, we are back because UFC 262 just went down Saturday nights, and we have a new lightweight champion. No, I'm not talking about Khabib Nurmagomedov. No, I'm not talking about Conor McGregor, Dustin Poirier, Justin Gaethje, Tony Ferguson. I'm not talking about any of them. This division, in my opinion, in MMA, we have a new king rising from the ashes. A guy that has cut his teeth for a decade in the UFC, now finally become champion. Charles "Do Bronx" Oliveira. But before we get into a legitimate fight with legitimate competitors in a legitimate division in a legitimate sport, I have to remind you guys that we are here doing a watch party for Logan Paul versus Floyd Mayweather, the exhibition of a lifetime. That is right, guys. June 6th, right here on this channel, we will be live streaming our watch along to Grandpa Floyd versus Low Hands Logan. So be here on Sunday, June 6th. It's gonna be a fun time. We do predictions, wagers, the whole deal. I will see you guys then. Thank you so much for 50K. Now, let's get into the breakdown. So in this fight, we had Charles "Do Bronx" Oliveira, a 10-year vet in the UFC, a guy who is a technical striker. The guy has beautiful technique. He has great grappling. He might be one of the best grapplers in the UFC. The guy has more submission finishes in the UFC than anyone else. I think he has more finishes now in the UFC than anyone else. And then you had Michael Chandler, the newcomer to the UFC, the Bellator veteran. You look at Michael Chandler's power, his ability to put guys down, his nonstop forward-moving aggression. He's going to put standing pressure on you and make you fight back off of your back foot, the likes of really no one else in the lightweight division. A guy that a lot of people looked at as not deserving of this title shot, but Michael Chandler did everything he was supposed to do as soon as he came in. He was an alternate. He went out and knocked out Dan Hooker. But anyway, as we get into this first round, Michael Chandler comes out aggressive. Charles Oliveira comes out very technical, kind of what we thought was going to happen. And something you see from Chandler pretty early is his desire to throw the right hand and the left hook over the top. He wants to get to that switch stance power left hook. And we've broken this technique down before. Dustin Poirier uses it a lot. A lot of guys use it, but Dustin Poirier is one of the more prominent guys that uses it successfully. So you see Michael Chandler throwing that technique right off rip. He's trying to jab to the body, right hand to the body, just to switch stance, put his right foot in front, and throw the power left hook over the top or the power left overhand. And while it doesn't quite land the first time, he actually clips Oliveira with it the second, and Oliveira immediately shoots the takedown. That power that Michael Chandler has in his hands must be otherworldly. Like when he hits people, they immediately think, oh God, we need to grapple. But before we talk about what happened on the ground, let's go back to that left hook, because as Michael Chandler comes into range, kind of with his hands a little lower and throws that left overhand, look at Charles Oliveira throw his left hook. With his right hand in the perfect position, his left hook coming horizontally across, it clips Michael Chandler, I think maybe on the bridge of the nose or the mouth. It didn't quite land perfectly, but it is a foreshadowing for what happens later in the fight. So anyway, we're on the ground and Michael Chandler immediately gives up his back. And this is a big no-no when you have the best submission artist in the UFC grappling you, and now he has your back. He goes full WWE Samoan drop because he has Charles Oliveira on his back, backpack position, stands up, and literally backdrops him onto the mat. It's one of the old school ways of like get off me that doesn't really ever work, and in fact, it kind of gets tighter in that position, but it was pretty entertaining, so whatever. Chandler finally gets out, gets back to his feet, and he starts throwing bombs again, just waning into range on Oliveira. Right hands, left hands, again, switching the stance. He clips him with the left hand. Oliveira covers up on the cage, and Michael Chandler lands a straight right behind the ear on Oliveira. Wobbles Oliveira, I think even maybe drops him, not fully to the canvas, but gives him the jelly legs. And right now in this moment, Michael Chandler can see gold. Everything is going right for Chandler right now. He has hurt Oliveira with the left overhand. He has dropped him with a straight right hand. He's landing shots somewhat on the ground, and he's got Oliveira in some pretty bad trouble. But this is where the fight changes, because Oliveira survives. And no one had any way of knowing this then, but that's the point the fight slipped away from Michael Chandler, because he had Charles Oliveira hurt. He had him hurt badly, and he was on top, and he was swinging shots. And Oliveira had to deal with some adversity, and again, it had been said even by Michael Chandler leading up to this fight that Charles Oliveira didn't know how to deal with that adversity. He didn't do so well under that kind of pressure, and Oliveira was put under that kind of pressure. He had to deal with it, and he survived. That is the biggest turning point in the fight, where Michael Chandler could have easily finished the fight right there. He's walking out with gold. So round 2 starts. Chandler is looking good. He wins the first round convincingly. He is on top until he isn't. 7 seconds in, Chandler again wants to be very aggressive forward. Comes forward on Oliveira, lands a 1-2 to the body. But one of Michael Chandler's biggest strengths, his aggression, is also one of his bigger weaknesses, because it is a little less technical, it is a little more wild. It is the hands down, coming into range and then leaving range with the hands down. he gets clipped with the left hook. And as we watch this exchange, again, Chandler comes into range, big 1-2 to the body, but as he's leaving range is where the damage happens because he gets caught in between beats, right? He's in, he's landing, he's on his way out. His back foot isn't on the ground yet. His hands are down. And again, look at Oliveira's technique. He's throwing off of Chandler's throw and before Chandler's ready to defend a counter. So it's a beautiful shot, great timing, perfect technique, and he clips Michael Chandler on the chin. It drops Mike and he goes scrambling to the cage. Oliveira, again, even as he is pressuring, even as he's stalking down Michael Chandler for this win, he's not breaking technique. He's still super technical, hands high. If one hand goes, the other hand replaces. Continuous shots, hits a right hand. Chandler goes running on the cage, and finally the left hand once again puts Michael Chandler down. He finishes with some short shots on the ground. He beats Michael Chandler. They give him his belt. They announce and new over the loudspeaker, Charles do Bronx Oliveira. Man, listen, it was a fun fight. It was a tale of two rounds. It was the epitome of Charles Oliveira, a guy that everyone says can't go through adversity, can't find his way back up off the mat when things aren't going right for him. He needs to lead the dance for all 15 to 25 minutes or he's gonna get beat. That's not what happened. In fact, it was basically the opposite of that. Chandler comes out, has a great first round, puts Oliveira in trouble a couple of times, and Charles survives it. Not only that, comes out in the second round, still switched on, still looking for a way to win this title. Nothing was gonna keep him from it, and he pulls it off. I hate it for Michael Chandler because I'm sure in his mind he knows he was this close to finishing that fight in the first round. And that's the difference in MMA, man. The 4-ounce gloves, the variety of things that can happen in minutes, in seconds, in one exchange, in one punch can change an entire fight, and that's what happened. And his nickname of the favelas, Do Bronx, it is a representation of coming from nothing to the world champion of the UFC, time in, dues paid, and finally and new. I think it's gonna be a fun year to 2 years here in the lightweight division, and I don't know if Charles Oliveira holds on to that title for all those 2 years. You have guys like Dustin Poirier there, good matchup. You have Conor McGregor there. I think that's a tough matchup for Conor. You have Justin Gaethje there. Again, I think it's a tough matchup for Justin. And then you have the dark horse in this whole thing, who I think is gonna grab that belt in the next 2 years, is Islam Makhachev. That guy is fucking scary. So yeah, there's a ton of ways this thing can go. I love the parity in the best division, in my opinion, in combat sports. I can't wait to see more. But yes, there you have it. Charles Do Bronx Oliveira finally grabs onto that gold. Now the question remains, how long does he keep it? I guess we'll find out.